Hello and welcome to another Void XRC video. Thanks for tuning in. Today I just have a few different things I want to talk about with this Feiyue here. One of the first things is if you watched my last video on the Feiyue upgrades, there's one thing I noticed when I got the rest of those Feiyue upgrades installed that I had. Let me just show you my other Feiyue here. As you can see, these wheels are pretty straight. Not 100%. It's slightly a bit of a wide gap in the front here, but it's not really all that bad. When I got all the upgrades that I had installed, I noticed that it really increased that. So I have more parts on the way. Definitely going to need an adjustable turnbuckle here on both sides, because that's pretty crazy. It's not really that good. So that's another problem with the Feiyue upgrades. Their precision is not all that good. Stuff's off, can be off a fair amount, as you can see there. Now you may notice that these are not stock wheels. These are some nice AU Star wheels I got from Banggood. I'll put the link in the description. I quite like them. They are a lot heavier than the stock wheels. I mean, the hubs are aluminum, so you know it's not plastic, but they have a lot more weight. I really like them. They're very well constructed. I have taken the foam out of them, so they are just air filled. Let me just go ahead and take this one wheel apart here, just so you guys can see how nicely these are made. One other thing is, if you do get these wheels, I definitely suggest taking out all the screws and or putting some thread lock on them all. Otherwise, they'll probably back out when you're running the vehicle, which wouldn't be good. These are very nice wheels. I really do like them. Got all the screws out. Just got the back piece out, front piece, and then there's an inner ring. So this is what makes up the actual hub itself. These three nice pieces of aluminum, and like I say, it adds quite a lot of weight over the stock plastic wheels. I really do like these wheels. Very nice. The rubber on the tires is fairly soft and sticky. It's not, you know, crazily rock crawler like pro racing, you know, stickiness. But it's not super cheap and crap either. It's somewhere in the middle. It's pretty good though. I like it. So that's the wheel. Let me just go ahead and pause the video here so I can get this wheel back on, and then we'll start on with the next part here. Alright, now that the wheel's on, there's just one more thing I wanted to address from the last video about updates. That was the rear drive shaft. Now if you watched the video and you remember, I couldn't get a screw through one of the ends. There was like a little burr or something in there that just was blocking the screw. And a week or two later I had another piece come in, or a few more pieces come in I should say. One of them was the front drive shafts, the metal ones. And they had problems too. One of them couldn't get screws through properly either. So I really can't recommend these metal drive shaft upgrades, but what I ended up doing was I ended up taking the piece off the end there and just using that to replace the one that I couldn't get the screw through before on the drive shaft. So at least the metal drive shaft on the rear now works. So that's the upgrades from the last video and stuff that I had to update you guys about. Now let's just talk a little bit about light wiring and whatnot. You may have noticed I have this one wire here. Got tail lights and stuff installed. Let me just go ahead and plug some power in here to these lights so you guys can see them. So at the moment I just have the two front lights. I've got some green lights that shine down in there. Probably not picking it up too well on the camera. Let me just turn off one of these lights here and see if we can see that better. Oh, come on, where's the button? Button! Oh yeah, that shows up a little bit better. I kind of like how I have that glowing effect there in the front. And then I've just got the tail lights, as you can see there. Not sure I'm going to keep the tail lights. I'm thinking I might chop the back of this buggy down a bit here somewhere. Haven't really decided what I'm going to do with that yet. Now I don't have a light bar on this yet. I do have enough ports on the LED controller I'm using that I could have just used that for the light bar, but I have another light bar in the mail coming, so that's one that I want to use more. So yeah, I will be installing that when that comes in. I'll obviously update you guys on that. Well, let me just turn these other lights back on, and then I'll take this body off so you can have a look at the wiring and whatnot. I just have a couple screws holding the body on, so it won't take very long. So as you can see, I've got all my wires scrunched up between the frame and the body panels. I did a few little cutouts in the very top of the frame just to help keep the body panels a little closer to the frame. There's the actual control unit that I'm using for my LEDs. As you see, I've got 6 spare ports still in there, so I could add 6 more single LEDs. But as I said, I have a different light bar coming in that has its own connection and whatnot, so I won't be using this to control those light bar LEDs. As you can see, you really kind of want to squish your lights, or the wires up in there, get them all flattened down as much as you can. Keep them out of the way. I have one issue where I didn't quite cut notches big enough under this panel, so you can see it's kind of sticking up there a little bit. But that's not too big of a deal, that can be fixed in the future. Now you may notice that I cut out part of plastic here and I've replaced it with some metal. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to make it tie in to where the driver is on this side. And this is super easy, super malleable aluminum, so you can just bend it with your fingers all you want. But I can't paint it right now either because it's far too cold out, and it's like -10 Celsius in my garage, so I cannot paint right now either. So that'll have to wait a few months till it gets warmer outside. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the update on this build that I'm doing on my second build I'm doing with the Feiyue. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.